Hello. You're rolling now.
You're rolling.
Oh, behind the scenes. This will sort of slot into the prep series, but it's not going to be a prep vlog, but a bit of a day in the life. And then the next video, the three of us are going to go through a session at Muscle Works. We've got pushed today, but today isn't really about training or about my prep at all. This is more about business, which is really exciting. I've gotten Luke to travel up from Redruth. He took 5.5 hour train. He's never had a train before. Luke has never been on a train before.
Proper adventure.
21 years of age.
And the underground.
And he got on the underground. He did it all himself. I'm really proud of him.
Big boy.
And his parents should be as well. But I wanted to get Luke up to London basically to get a bit of content. It's been a while since we've done some, or done any in fact. And he's come on a lot as a person, as a coach, as a content creator, as a bodybuilder as well. So I wanted to get a bit of perspective from him and from me on how I think I think we worked out it's about 18 months has gone as him being a Team Brightman Coach, the first one after me. I want to talk about his accomplishments as a coach, as a businessman, I guess, or part of this business. An athlete as well, find out about his next steps, which I'm hoping he'll be happy to talk about openly. And I kind of want to get him to talk quite candidly about his last 18 months as well. If you've not watched the previous video, if I can remember, I'll put a card on here to go and watch it. It's very staged, it's very corny. It did the job. We got across the information I think we needed to, but that's not how I want this one to run. I want this one to be a lot more candid, a lot more spontaneous, open, free-flowing. So that's how we're going to sort of attack it. But do go and watch that one because it will give you an insight into, well, I guess the start of Luke's journey with the team from 18 months ago, why he joined the team, why he's a Team Brightman Coach today. But this one hopefully about what's made him that coach over the last 18 months and what I would like to say into a very successful coach for his age as well. So we will take you along for the day, and then there's going to be a bit of exciting news towards the end as well, which you may already have some guesses as to what that's going to be. But yeah, hope you enjoy it, and stay tuned.
Initially, mate, the direction we move in will be determined from your initial physique images. So if I think we need to move straight into a fat loss phase, we will. Or if I think it's just a case of locking in a solid routine and getting your training in a good spot, we'll go for that straight away. Where the game plan's still the same with training, drive that training performance forward, just start to use a surplus.
I don't know how much you're catching of that, hopefully some of it, but
No.
I just don't think people understand how good this kid is at what he does. I wouldn't have done that call any better than he's done it. So that's what this video is going to be about. I want to shine a light a bit on his progress, his development as like a person, but as a coach as well, because he's so professional. So it's really cool to see him in person as well. So even with the pressure on, he's delivering exactly what he needs to on that call, and obviously he's going to sign that client up, so it's good. But yeah, we will talk a bit more when he's off.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers.
That was so good. He's brilliant. His kid's a whiz. You got a lot to live up to, mate.
I know.
He's got no pressure. No pressure.
I just knew there was a camera there and I felt my feet go light. I was like, what's going on? I'm all nervous.
You do better than mine. I'd be sweating, mate. I'd be sat there with beads of sweat running down my face.
Playing right.
No, that was good.
No, that's cool.
That's what I mean. That's why I saw promise in this kid, and that's why I took him on. And there's not been a second where I thought that he's let me down, which is good. He's a perfect representation of the brand, so it's well done from me. I think what I wanted to talk about a bit as well, just in terms of his journey. I don't know if you say there've been ups and downs. Would you say ups and downs? I would say there's been big ups and small ups.
Yeah, it's always been moving forward.
Yeah, the trajectory is that there's been
upwards. Yeah, but sometimes it's just been real quick acceleration.
Yeah,
and then it's still been moving forward.
Yeah,
it's surpassed expectation on the whole.
Okay,
I think
he's answered the question there. Then that's good. Yeah, I think. There's been times where there's been times where my clients' numbers go up and down, so obviously the business fluctuates with the time of year, but Luke's managed the 2 12-week challenges that we've run, so they've obviously been really busy periods for him, both busy but rewarding as well in terms of finances and I guess the process. We did that so that he would get experience with working with clients and then be able to social proof his work, because with a relatively low number of followers, it's not easy to turn people into clients. It's much easier obviously with a bigger audience to talk to, so that's something we realised with Luke quite quickly, let's build up that social proof, show them what you can do visually. We've also just driven up his social media presence, I guess. You're on there every day now, at least his stories, posts more regularly, reels, YouTubes, and things like that. But for me, it's just been rewarding. I'm hoping Luke will talk a bit about it in his little segment, but the stuff about the apprenticeship and where you've sort of come from that to get from there to here, that's been cool.
Big
but
change.
I'll let Luke talk about more on that, because that's not really my bag. But for me, this process so far, I've always said the most rewarding thing about this job is like changing people's lives, or that's when I get fulfillment. Like a client, when I see that they've made a massive change, massive bit of weight loss, or they're beaming because they've done something great on stage. But no one's life, I don't think, has changed as much as Luke's over the last 18 months, and that is without blowing my own trumpet, that's directly because of this brand. So that's fucking cool. So I'm hoping Luke will talk a bit more on that, but I'm gonna get a pre-workout meal in, otherwise we will be late.
So that is the morning consult wrapped up. On these consult calls, we just have a bit of a chit chat essentially, ask them about their current position, so what they're doing training wise, nutrition wise, and where they want to get to. So of course, when we start talking about where they want to get to, I propose what would be the best game plan. From there, we send a follow-up email if they're happy to join the team. Of course, they transition into a full-time one-to-one online coaching client for Team Brightman. These consultations are getting more frequent now, which is fantastic. This week there's been at least one a day, which is awesome, and one-to-one online coaching numbers for myself are the highest they have been, which is fantastic. When you first saw my face on this channel, I was 19, I believe, and I looked like I was about 14. I'm now 21 and I look like I'm 17, but I promise I am 21. This process has been like really exciting for me, and it's moved really quickly. So of course, full-time online coach now. I am no longer doing the plumbing apprenticeship that I was. And upon reflection, like even this morning, I was talking to Joe this morning, talking about reflecting and how hard it is. I think a lot of people struggle to reflect. I think the reason for that is you're always looking forward, always looking to move towards that desired goal. So my position right now, I want to be one of the best coaches in the UK. There's no doubt about that, and I'll back myself fully here. I think that can definitely be achieved with my current rate of progress. Now, if I look at where I would have been if I didn't go down this route, I believe I'd have been pretty stagnant. I would have been a qualified gas engineer, boiler fitter. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's a great job, but it's just not something that I really wanted to do. I went down that route due to my dad and my brother being in the trade, and where I live, Cornwall, that is like the main go-to job, like get a trade and you're sorted. However, it's not an area I wanted to work in, and of course I had a massive passion for physique development, so of course the game plan there is to make that a full-time job, and I'm very, very proud to say that I've managed to make it a full-time job. Of course, if I was still going down that normal route, more than likely, like fixed wage, I'd have been working for a company, and it would have been a bit of a game of rinse and repeat. The reason I love coaching is you can always move forward. Of course, as your client base grows, your income grows, which is fantastic, and of course the more your client base grows, the more people you can help, which is the game plan here. I want to help as many people as possible achieve their goals within physique development, because it's an amazing feeling when someone comes to you and they're quite dissatisfied, can't talk, with their current position, and they say I want to get here, and you can help them get there. It is awesome. So when making the transition to one-to-one online coaching, it might have looked like a real smooth transition. Of course, Joe gave me a massive opportunity to work alongside him, but behind the scenes it wasn't picture perfect, so to speak. So of course I quit that apprenticeship, and people around me wanted to continue with that apprenticeship. So I was going against what other people were recommending and backing myself, because I knew I wanted to be a full-time online coach. And of course I had to make the first year count, because I had to prove a point not only to myself but everyone around me. So in that apprenticeship I was on £3.50, £3.80 an hour. First year it was just over £8,000. Of course, first year working full-time with Team Brightman, I've done just over 30,000, which is fantastic, because I've proved to myself that this can work, and I've proved to the people around me that it also can work. But the best thing here is I enjoy what I do. I wake up and I'm looking forward to check-ins, I'm looking forward to the consult calls, I'm looking forward to the programming, and of course the freedom this career gives you, I guess you can say, is great, because I have goals as a physique athlete, and now I can eat when I want, I can train when I want, I have a lot more control over the variables, which is fantastic. So if anyone's watching this and they also want to go full-time with online coaching, a couple of things I will say is it's not easy at all. It's a very hard industry to get into, but if you want to get into it, back yourself and continue to do that for a prolonged period of time, because if you're doing the right things, if you've got a good skill set as a coach, I can guarantee you'll get to where you want to be over time. I've rambled on now for far too long in a very awkward manner. We'll see what Joe's up to now. I think we're training push at Crayford.
I guess you've heard from me on Luke. You've heard from Luke on Luke, which I've not heard yet, but hopefully he said everything he's supposed to. Good little boy.
Script, man. Went off script on that one.
Luke's not happy with his performance on camera, but I think it'll come out alright. I guess now the next section of the video, we're going to go to the gym in a sec, but whilst we down our pre's, before I introduce Max and who he is, I want to talk about what's going on at Team Brightman at the moment. So Luke's now in his best position in terms of how many people he's helping, which is amazing. There was always a certain number I wanted to get him to until I even thought about looking at another coach. But it was always the idea to take another coach on at some point. There's only a few ways to scale like a coaching business, and that is one of them. And as well, there's just more people that we can help. There's a hole that Max can fill with regards to people that I can coach and people that Luke can coach. Obviously, to this point, Luke doesn't have competitive experience. He doesn't have anabolics experience. Those two things that Max does have. I'm also not naive to the fact as well that I think some people are maybe discouraged by Luke's age at this point. The bottom line is, as good as he is, he's 21, and there's definitely some ageism in careers in general. So I think that level of authority, I don't know how people feel about being told what to do by a 21-year-old, that's their flaws, not Luke's, but it exists, and I have to be aware of that. So I think Max is going to come in and fill that gap. He will definitely be able to help people that want to do competition prep. He's done it himself. He placed third in Classic 2 Bros, came third to Jimmy Tonk and someone else pretty good. Jimmy Tonk's now pro. So he's proven himself to me as a physique athlete, a competitor. He's one of the most respectfully challenging members of the coaching team as well. When we have group calls, when we have group chats, Max is there asking the questions, challenging me, have I looked at this, have I looked at that? I know he's gone away and done his own learning, research, and I know he's keen to do more as well. And he comes from a slightly different background to myself and Luke. Obviously, we've gone both straight into online coaching. Max has PT'd, he's had experience on the gym floor. That's not to say we're going to go into one-on-one personal training, but I think it's good to have that personal skill there. So Max fills a few roles for me. I've never openly looked to hire for this business. I've never gone out and said I want another coach, apply. When we announced Luke, I got countless emails and DMs, lots of respectful ones from people, but I wasn't interested. I'm going to hand pick people to join this team, and that will continue to happen. That's a natural thing for me. And as I said, Luke impressed me with his willingness to just do the education, do the work, become a better coach. Max has impressed me with his ability just to get shit done. So putting him for a prep, I've watched him do it. He's the sort of guy where I'll tell him to do something and he just does it. And I know that he'll do that as a coach as well. I'm not going to tell him what to do, but I know that he'll just get stuff done. So I know this is another really synergistic addition to the team. And I think we can all bounce off each other here as well. Going forwards, I've said to these boys, I don't know how much I want this to be Brightman Fitness long term. I'm more thinking of this to be a coaching collective, something where the three of us are equals. I don't want it to be Joe Brightman and his two coaches. That's not what I'm here to do. I want them to be rewarded and displayed as the integral parts of this team that they are. So Max will come in, which is really exciting, and obviously we will look to start filling his coaching spaces up nice and soon, alongside his growth really as an athlete. I have absolutely no doubt that we've got two potential IFBB pros sat here or stood here in time, so that's really exciting for me as well. So yeah, Max is a really good fit for me, someone I get on with, someone I can have chats with, connect with, and someone that challenges me as well. So that's my piece on Max. We want to help more people. I think Max can help me do that. And again, sort of speaking about the opportunity I think we've been able to provide with Luke and that life-changing sort of experience, that journey, I want to do that for Max as well. That's something that, as I said already, fills me with a lot of fulfillment. And if we can be looking back at this in a year's time and seeing what we've done for Max's journey and outlook on life, like that for me will mean the world. So that's my segment on Max, and we're going to go to gym now, and I think I'll get Max to talk a little bit about his journey because he knows it better than I do. Let's go. It's you. There's one more there. Take it. Dive. Come on. That's you. Finish that, Luke. So just a little bit about myself. My name's Max. I've been working with Joe for just under a year now. I started bodybuilding around 2 or 3 years ago, but I finally made the decision to get a coach in June last year. That's when I got in touch with Joe. He put me through my first prep, and from there really we've been working together. I've been learning from him. Obviously I've got a lot of background knowledge anyway. I've been training total for nearly 10 years, so I've picked up quite a bit. I've worked on the gym floor PTing as well, but over the last couple of months Joe's spoken to me and offered me an opportunity to work with him under the Brightman brand. Yeah, so just going to be filling the gap between Luke and Joe. Obviously Luke isn't assisted or hasn't competed before, whereas I have. I've done 3 shows now, and I've been assisted for 18 months. So I have a little bit more background knowledge on those areas, and like I said, whereas Joe's becoming quite busy now and maybe not being able to take on clients that are wanting that background and that information, hopefully I will be able to do that. So moving forward for me, I'm going to be spending the next year, maybe 18 months in an off season. I plan to compete maybe back end of 2023, early 2024. My goals are to be a professional bodybuilder, IFBB pro, and I think with Joe, working with Joe, we'll be able to achieve that. I've come a long way since working with Joe already in the last year, so yeah, I just expect that to improve and continue over the next 18 months, 2 years, and hopefully get that pro card status. And yeah, that's about it. So this will be the first time at Muscleworks, hitting push with Joe and Luke, and yeah, that's everything.
So that is it. You've heard from all 3 of us. I hope that gives you a bit more of an insight, even if you didn't go and watch the earlier video, sort of where Luke's come from to where he's at now, and the reason why now is a good time to bring Max on. Obviously, I guess from my perspective as well, I want to keep growing this business, of course I do. But I'm about to go into prep, well I'm now in prep. My workload, or my capacity for workload, is not going to continue to increase. I'm going to cap it, and therefore I hope that Max can come in and fill that hole. And like I said, very, very excited to see if I can do or see if we can do with Max what we've done with Luke to this point. So if you've gotten to this point, thank you for watching the whole video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It will slot into the classic prep series because ultimately it is a part of this prep. It's a really exciting part of this prep as well. You know, prep will have a profound impact hopefully on content and inquiries, and therefore I need to, you know, have a plan for that so that I can keep serving the people that want to be served by Team Brightman. So coaching slots obviously are now open for all 3 of us. There is a form in the product description. I always say product description for my time at John Lewis. In the video description down below, so you can click that form, fill it out, give us some really, really basic information, and then we'll contact you and hopefully get you booked in for your free consult call. At that point, we will sort of ask you who are you most interested in working with. You might be interested in any one of us, or you might have a preference, and we can talk that through and sort of help you understand maybe what the best option for you is. So yeah, I'm really excited, as you can tell. I was excited to get this done. We're now going to go and train, and that will be the next episode of prep. So thank you for watching, and please do like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.